What is up, world? It's D Tencho here, and we're back with another episode of the Due to the Deep podcast. Today, we have a few guests here to discuss something that is very near and dear to my heart, a musical project that is in a summation of 8 concept albums known as Epic the Musical, the story of the Odyssey as told through the eyes of Odysseus in a musical form. I have a couple of friends here who are going to help all of us dive a little bit deeper into the themes, ideas, and collective reasoning behind why something like this has become an internet classic and has such an amazing cult grassroots following. Something that is very rare to see and that has inspired so many other creators over the past 4 years. So without further ado, we are due to the deep. And here we are. How's everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
Nice.
I'm joined today. My name is D Tencho1. I'm joined here today by Candid Clown, who will be going as Clown today. Fro Shade, who will be going as either Fro or Shade, as well as J Bond 97, aka Mighty Genius. You guys want to take a moment to kind of say what's up to the fans before we get started?
Sure,
What's
I'll
good,
start things
y'all?
off.
You're gonna make me kill you. This is take
I
it.
think we spoke at the same
Some
time. We
somebody
off.
take it. You both waited 7 seconds.
Hey, that's the beauty of. So yeah, what's good, Chad? What's good, everybody? Viewers at home. Glad to be here talking with these great men, talking about a beautiful, great series.
Hello, everybody. Welcome all. Please, I'm happy to be here. I'm super excited to talk about this work of art. I wasn't expecting that talking about like a musical that's based on like a poem that I read in high school would be like how I'll be spending my week preparing for this show. But no, it's been fun.
Very good. So our first speaker was Fro, and then our second is Candid Clown. They refused to name themselves. But as you can see, we have sort of a dual setup for this episode. Alongside our commentary and the normal progression of the episode, we are going to be showcasing an animatic series that is from a ton of different creators, which I'll be linking this playlist and each individual in the description box below. Excuse me. If you're interested in following any of these artists, I completely and utterly suggest it and coerce you to do it because the amount of reach and beauty that has come from this project is sort of unprecedented in the internet. And that's part of the reason why I've become so enamored with the project. Jorge Rivera Herranz, who is the composer and lead of the Epic the Musical concept album series, is so very welcoming, so very kind-hearted, and very forward with his appreciation, love, and passion for the project that is quite infectious. I just happen to be I wasn't a theater kid, but I was like the Disney musical kid. I'm from the silver age of Disney. So me knowing Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, High School Musical, even to a certain extent. I aged a little bit out of High School Musical after the first one, but like musical theater has always been something that really entrances me. Some of my favorites being The Greatest Showman. I liked Cats before they put it on the silver screen. Rent, and even Wicked, which I liked before they put it on the silver screen. So, yeah, I come from a background of appreciation for musical theater, but I think, in my adult timeline, it's very much something that provides me with a lot of value on a day-by-day basis because of the themes of fatherhood, decision making, leadership, friendship, kindness, ruthlessness. I'm winking. Ruthlessness, and even identity. You know, there are a lot of times where we make decisions that can offer us an opportunity to abandon our identity, and through the bonds that we've made with people and how impactful we can be for each other, there's even a resolution that provides an understanding that no matter how much you think you've changed, I know who you are, you know. So I believe that in all of those themes, Epic the Musical really helps provide a different perspective to an ancient classical story that most of us have heard. To open up the floor to everyone, I wanted to pose a off itinerary question. How long do you think you could last at sea? Whether in any parameters, how long do you think you as a normal land dweller could last at sea with proper, you know, like in ideal conditions for you?
Well, to kick things off, first, again, this is Fro Shade, either Fro or Shade. I'm an artist, and this series is a one of beauty, and I really enjoy it. Just as a quick introduction, because yeah, we should have gave proper introductions. And to answer that question, I think, especially with my idea of fishing, going fishing, learning how to skin, catch fish, create a rod, what to use as bait, things like that. Yeah, depending on the materials I have at my disposal, I think I could last maybe good 2 weeks. I still need something to drink.
Mm. Okay.
I got nothing to drink.
Salt water.
Salt water is
Look.
crazy.
Look, that yeah,
I
I'm
heard you're
gargling.
crazy, bro.
That's gonna keep the stanky breath away. That's it.
Our fourth has actually joined. So I like what you had to say, Fro. Let's give him a chance to introduce himself, and then after Clown finishes up, I'll reintroduce the question as our opener.
Got you.
Mm.
It's your boy Mighty Genius in the house, and I'm a gamer. I've grown up, having the Odyssey kind of. I watched the movie. I've read the book. I enjoy like Greek mythology and stuff. Um, so I've watched some plays, and musicals have been kind of around for me for a long time. And I enjoy the art. I enjoy the acting. I like watching indie stuff sometimes. But what I will say to the most recent question is, I don't think I'm gonna last more than a month, because I get seasick. I'm like, I'm gonna be tired of it, bro. Just slashing back and forth, bro. I've been on a cruise. I was throwing up, bro. I enjoy all the activities on going to Disneyland and all that as a kid. I remember we was sitting down in the restaurant. There was this big wave, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done." I started throwing up. I had to go to bed early. I couldn't even do it. So, yeah, I'll say a good month, and then it's over with for me. I'm not staying out. No water now. I'm diving in the water. I'm gone. Can't even do it. Willingly,
Willingly. I want it willingly. That's a deep cut. Nobody's gonna get that reference. But Clown, what are you thinking?
Okay, so, it depends on how much seagull blood I can tolerate.
Seagull
so-
blood is crazy.
You said ideal conditions, right?
Ideal
you got your
conditions.
electrolytes, you got your vitamin bird, you got your red, and that's gonna keep you going for at least, I don't know, 5-10 minutes before you need another bird. So it depends on how many birds are in the area.
I
before
wasn't
I
thinking
run out.
outside the box enough. You're right.
As long as I don't run out of birds, I'll be okay. But then if you're lost at sea, you're lost at sea. Nowhere near land, so unless I'm not seeing any birds nearby, I'm guessing 1, maybe 2 hours at max before I need more bird blood.
That's crazy.
That's extreme.
Bird blood is
That's
a
real.
crazy concept.
Real, shoot.
Vitamin
And-
bird.
Okay.
You got some rope.
Is it
And
in
you
you?
got some rope.
Um, wait. I'm being sweeted. Hold on. I got crit by the bird blood. Okay. For me, I've spent not proportionally to my entire life, but I've spent a decent amount of time out on open water. And I think I could probably do between 2 to 3 months, assuming there are fish to catch. And, like I said, ideal conditions. If it's not starvation, like if only the sea can take me out, I can probably last a season. Once the season changes, I don't think I'm a seafarer. If it's spring and I'm dealing with spring, once summer comes and the waters is different, it's over with for me. But I could do probably a full season, able to like fish, eat food, try and filter water and stuff like that, because I won't say in my spare time, but I've spent time sort of thinking about situations like that. So I internet the shit out of like survival tactics and things like that. So filtering seawater into regular water is very difficult, but also very possible. But once those currents change season to season, it's over with for me. Like I get used to calm waters or crazy waters, and then I don't know how to fish in the calm waters. So you got me about 2.5, 3 months. But once it starts to change up, once the winds shift, take me out. Just let me go. I'll be asking for 2 tickets to paradise for me and my dick.
Oh, willingly.
Willingly.
I didn't even think about eating the fish. That makes way more sense.
I mean,
That's what I said at first.
it's difficult because if you're in a boat, fish don't come very close because the boat is always moving. But there are ways, obviously, because we have fishing boats that go out in a boat
I
and
was
fish.
thinking, you catch a fish, you cut it, and then you just let the blood attract sharks, and you can capture a shark and eat the shark.
I was thinking that, like all those seagull bodies.
Hey, sharks are real gamey too.
Me eating a shark is crazy, and all of you are crazy for eating a shark.
Shark man, yeah, that's me.
I don't even eat fish, bro. But I'll make some work.
We gonna make it happen. Okay.
Man, look, I'm gonna have some new fins, and I'm gonna be Mr. Merman for real. Skin it, sew it back up, clear out the insides, make sure the inside's good for me to use. Tuck it into my shirt, and I'm worming to safety, boy, just swimming.
Worming to safety is crazy. I was thinking the same thing, Mighty.
You know what I mean? You gotta do like the worm. I don't know what the swimming technique is called, but
You trying to do that? You trying to do that Halle Bailey swimming? I get you.
Hey, Mr. Mermaid.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, so our audience is actually just getting into the full speed ahead animatic, and I would like to sort of jump into our first prompt for this week, which is what introduced you to Epic the Musical. I'll start off, and then I don't know how you guys are oriented, but the way that I see it, 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be myself, Candid, Clown, Fro, and then Mighty Genius. So if we want to keep that sort of ordering, it will work out really good for me and also you guys, so we don't spend those extra moments, trying to figure out who's next. Are we all in agreement that it'll be Clown, then Fro, then Mighty after me?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Good.
Upvote.
You, I thought you said I vote, and then I was waiting for you to tell me
I
what
said
you.
upvote.
Oh, upvote, upvote.
Right.
Yeah, up doots. Give me some doots. Okay. So, what actually drew me, what like alerted me to Epic's presence was, I've always had a sort of fascination with Greek mythology, even as early as like 6th or 7th grade. I can remember my English teacher at my middle school. She had like a library, and she was like a very recluse teacher. She always told us she never watched TV. She didn't own a TV, but once a week she would go and watch Survivor at a friend's house. So she had like this nice sized library in our English class, and she had like this giant 600-page hardcover Greek mythology book, and I fell in love. I was always kind of a whimsical fantasy kind of guy because I was into anime very young. And when I started to learn some of the old Greek folk tales and things like that, it really ignited me, and I never have lost that. So to listen to, because I was one day just doom scrolling TikTok, and I heard like "Get in the Water," which is the first song from the project I ever heard, which is a Poseidon and Odysseus back and forth, about Poseidon trying to get revenge for his son, the Cyclops, who Odysseus had gouged his eye out to protect his men. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, I know about this. This is like really cool. This guy knows about something I know about. I'm down for that. So I started following him immediately, and I've been following the project since I think late 2021. I would say like June 2021. And since then, I've been sharing it with everybody who will listen, engaging, and I was sold. Once I heard who he had casted, it became even better for me as an enjoyer, because it's like his voice is really good. Jorge, who you'll hear in the background, is playing Odysseus, and his voice is just amazing. I just love it, and that's part of the reason why I've become so enamored with the project.
Well, you caught me. I
Mm.
was not at all like I did not know anything about this. I've always been into musical theater, probably at the same depth as you, like Silver Age of Disney and all of that.
Mhm.
Cheetah Girls. But
Oh
no,
yeah.
that's a little later.
Yeah.
But I have always been a mythology buff since I was very, very young. I've been into stories and the way that man kind of explains his place in the world and why things happen the way they do. The intrinsic need to understand and give cause and reason to things. So I had entire shelves of books in the library that I was just like diving into everything I can get a hand on, like Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology, Greek mythology, of course. Was a lot more accessible. They tend to like lean on the classics during high school, and I remember watching what movie was it? I think I want to say I'm not sure if it was the Alien or if it was this Troy, and being and like wow this is an action film. This is epic. Wink wink wink
Mm.
wink, and this being super into it. And then the God of War games came out. When I was in high school. I also really loved like getting into that Zeus and then punching him in the face repeatedly. Like so, I always loved
Peak
stories
gaming.
and exactly like gods and stories and like honestly, it, it's crazy how close a fit Epic is for my interests. So when a certain 10 here introduced me to the first track of the first album, The Horse and the Infant, and I was listening to it and like, oh wait, I remember I know some of this. Oh, this is like a musical about like events after the conquering of Troy. This is kind of cool. And I saved it after listening to it once, and I said, you know what? I'll get back to us eventually. And I did not
Yeah.
at all. For I
Yeah.
want to say what, a year, 2 years? I'm trying to see when you introduced this to me. It was a while ago.
It
And
was
then
at the end of, I believe it was at the end of 2022.
yeah, it was, oh my
Yeah.
god, so later than I thought. So I just, sitting down, just like doom scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and I came across God games, and I was like, wait,
Mm.
this is awesome, this is amazing. Like, let me. Is this the first song? This is where it started? And I go back and I'm like, wait, this is already played in my Spotify. Who shared this with me? I search a link, I see Discord messages, like, oh wait, 10 shared this with me. Okay, sweet, I'll check this out. And I got hooked.
Yep.
Fucking immediately. Like, drawn in. Like, the musicality of it, the very creative use of the myth, the way that they've adjusted things to make it a little bit more accessible to a modern audience. They might not be like
Absolutely.
super studied into the classics, but like they may not follow the story one to one because it's just it's a bit of it's a long story. Like it's an epic, right?
Absolutely.
But they put it in such a way that what made it like really really easy to listen to. And on re-listens, like you start getting the nitty gritty. Like I'm not at all like musically inclined. Like I could follow a beat, no problem. But like it came to actual instruments and music theory, nothing. But I love lyrics. I love writing, and actually seeing what they did with the characters and how they introduced them musically via the instruments, via the phrases they use musically, the motifs that they repeat. Just like in literature, you have these themes and thematics that are being repeated. And it just translated very well as a musical in a way that I was just surprised with.
Mm.
So that's kind of like, for me, it was God games. It got me like really really hooked into it.
Absolutely. Very valid. Fro, you got some time, or would you like us to go to Mighty Genius first?
Oh no, no, I was ready and waiting.
Okay. So the question
and
is,
it's-
what introduced you to Epic the Musical?
Got you. So, and even this will have to tie back to the first question too as well. Kind of like how you guys spoke about, being, liking theater and musicals and stuff like that. So, yes, silver age of Disney kid here, and a little bit of the golden age because I love going back and seeing all that stuff. My mom and my father always went back and showed just the old OG, where everything came from, with the old sounds from the OG Tom and Jerry, Pinocchio, majority of this history. Just, man, everything from like a great foundation of just cool theatrics, musicality, creative writing, and just beautiful touches of fantasy all interwoven to make beautiful cinema. So, and with that being said, I hated music. I did not like High School Music. I absolutely hated. Like I could not stand niggas singing on screen. I'm like, bro, just skip certain stuff. It's just certain times I'm like, cool, I like it, and other times I'm just like, ugh, get this shit out of my face. I like certain stuff on Disney. I just couldn't watch. I absolutely could not watch because I'm just like, I ain't got time to watch. I ain't got time to watch these bitch ass niggas sing and stuff like all that. Like I don't want to hear this. I don't care about this. So, but fun fact, my top 3, number 1, absolutely Cheetah Girls.
Yeah.
Having sisters put that shit in my face, and again, I was already messing with Raven, especially from the Cosby Show to now.
To now it's
Hey.
crazy.
Oh, oh my god.
Oh, good lord.
Oh my god, my stomach.
My heart.
Yeah, Cheetah Girls. Hillary Duff and Yeah. Lizzie. I know it wasn't anything musical, but honestly, if that show had some musical breaks in it, it would have made sense to not have liked it because she was one of the ones.
Yeah. Her
The
movie
third,
gave her that opportunity.
yes, and I'd say the third. That third might be a little difficult to even think about right now.
Hmm.
But I just leave that one back to it. But yeah, so you introduced me to it. It was a cool, I'd say maybe Wednesday afternoon. I was at work. This was also in June as well.
Hmm.
Told me about it, and I was already hooked just because it mentioned Greek mythology. I love history. I love lore. I love those awesome nuanced details of life inscribed in just such a fantastical way, especially since Greek and just Roman history just has poetry throughout, just the tales of battle, betrayal, and love, and just evolution, and honestly, just a telling of man in such a unique way. So, when you first told me about it, said it was a musical, I knew to give it a chance just because you're a trusted source for great creative pieces, and you've never misdirected. And as
Don't
a
gas
writer,
me up.
hey, it's the donut shop that you deserve the glaze.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Holy moly donut shop.
Stay with me, Roy.
Holy moly donut shop.
but but yeah, so it was just I was hooked. The first song, "Horse and Carriage," like just hearing that man's
The horse and the
rich.
infant?
I'm sorry, "Horse and the Infant." Sorry, multitasking. Thank you for
Yeah.
the correction. So yeah, and again, just I know the story of Troy. Just this, just the tellings of just Odysseus. Man, it it was just amazing. Like I appreciate that man for creating this one and put this out, putting his voice in and casting a whole host of other people and just so many elements of it. Again, never truly being a fan of theater, but I've always enjoyed the aspect of it and appreciated theater and other concepts. I know people aren't a big fan of him, Tyler Perry. Like
Yeah.
his live play, magnificent.
Kind
Says a lot
of
about the
peak.
story.
Yeah, kind of peak. I will say that. I don't like, and this is constant for me, sorry to interrupt, but like
Uh-huh.
the stage, yeah, the silver screen, you could fuck off. No offense.
Yeah. Burning with fire. But yeah, like just how everything came together, I could have definitely imagined a changing of scenes and wardrobe and just so many things. And just as an artist too, it doesn't take long for me to connect these things visually. So as I'm listening to it, and even as I'm talking about it now, I can see everything so vividly. I can feel the wind, the smell of the sea. I can feel the energy and the hardiness of those 600 men.
The
charging.
captain.
Man. So, yeah, for me, it was a really awesome thing. And again, if not for you, I wouldn't have been introduced.
I'm so glad that I could do that for you. And I think you got an excellent point of view to come into this project. And I believe that's part of the reason why it's such a giant boom for this project is because so many of us, especially like middle-aged, well, I will say middle-aged for the millennial range.
Yeah.
Like the middle-aged millennials are bathed in those early 90s, mid 90s, early 2000s musical productions because all of our movies had music scenes in them.
Yes.
And for us to grow up in that, and have it in our adult life, we're like, yeah, this is actually not just nostalgia. This is great plus nostalgia.
Yes. And I also have my number 3, but it's 3 animated movies that's tied.
Mm.
and I'm sure all of y'all will agree with it. Hercules, I Can Go the Distance.
Yeah.
Milan, Be a Man.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor's New Groove. That opening song.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That boy was grooving. He's the sovereign of the nation. He's the hippest cat in creation. He's the alpha, the omega, A to Z. Boy, stop. Don't get me singing something.
Oh no.
I'm a lyrical miracle landmine bank, bruh.
Hey, look. In a whole nother life, you definitely on stage. Like,
Hey, Mighty Genius. Don't let him say that anymore. Don't, right? Hey, Mighty
no,
Genius.
no.
Mighty Genius. Let's.
I mean, in a whole nother sense. I'm sorry. In a whole nother sense.
We not gonna speak that into my life. I appreciate it. I love the reverence and the compliment, and we're not.
I'm sorry.
Mighty Genius. How about you give us what got you into it?
Hey, I don't know if anybody else can pick up on this, but do you know who got me into this?
Ooh.
My brother.
What did you say about my brother?
My brother. Oh, man. But no. As soon as Techi told me that it had to do with Greek mythology, man, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm hyped for it. I want to check it out, you know? I was skeptical because, you know, it's like, it wasn't like a video or anything, you know, it was just listening. So I was like, oh, we listening. Okay. You know, okay. Because, you know, I didn't seen the films. I didn't seen, what was that? Did Brad Pitt, he played Achilles before.
Yeah.
I watched the cartoons Hercules. I watch a bunch of people who play like no commentary Kratos, God of Wars, and I'm real huge into this to the Greek mythology. You know, I love Thor, even though he's not like considered, you know,
Norse. You got
always
it.
Yeah.
you know, but you know I enjoy it. So as you said it, I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm always down, checking it out. If I vibe with it, I'll keep on going. Hey, I done found some songs I really like, and they in my playlist, and you know, I can just repeat them. Of course, y'all know my favorite song. You know
That you are great at segueing. If we were to come into the next question that we have for the episode, it would be, which song grabbed you by the collar and hooked you in? Not a song that you like or that you mess with, but legitimately a song that like hemmed you up and put you like, this is it. And I really believe the reason that I posed this question is because there is that one song for every listener. And it may change over time. The more that you listen to the project, you know, 1 month you may be feeling something from the Cersei saga. The next month you may be on your Thunder saga, you know, energy. And I believe that the reason that it's so popular is because it is split into 8 sagas. You get to see so many different styles with the same theme. You know, and those styles can issue in like branches of themes, but even from the very first song, you can kind of tell what kind of show this is gonna be, you know, but that doesn't lock you in to only war stories. You know, war brings so many different emotions and so many different aspects of humanity that I think the show really helps capitalize on across all 8 of its sagas. For me, I hate to say it because my thoughts have changed so much, but the one that grabbed me by my nuts and my neck at the same time, and it was both, was Warrior of the Mind. The first duet, well, technically the second duet technically the fourth duet if we want to be serious. But the first Athena and Odysseus conversation, that scenario from Warrior of the Mind really hooked me because I always thought of the dichotomy of someone reminding you who they helped you become and times where you don't like want to be who you are, you want to be who you were. You know, and I believe in Warrior of the Mind is so much like weight on the idea that, like, you know, years ago I was teaching you about this, and now, you know, I need you to lock in, like, because you have to do dangerous stuff. I just heard my dad talking to you. You know, you have to do something that you don't like, sure. But, like, the reason that you're doing this is because you love your son. And your son is not a reason for you not to kill this fucking baby. You know, because if somebody else is there, they're going to kill your baby. So you kill this baby so you can go home to yours. And we talked about this because you have to think, you have to understand that you killing this kid's father is mean he's going to that kid's gonna grow up and kill you. You know, so I really, not to mention Tegan Early, Timo, baby, she from my hometown. Timo can sing her ass off, and she's actually my favorite god in all of Epic the Musical. And I decided that, and I have not changed my fucking mind from 2021 till now. She's still my favorite god in the entire show, and she's my favorite artist on the project. So Warrior of the Mind, at any point in time, I could be listening to 21 Savage, I could be listening to Tchaikovsky. If Warrior of the Mind come on, I'm switching modes. My mode is my mode is switched, and I'm okay with that. So for me, Troy Saga episode 4, Warrior of the Mind, absolutely.
Oh man, I don't want to tell you where I was grabbed, but if I can find a doll, I can point to where I was grabbed.
Show us where the epic touched you. That's crazy. I don't like that. That's crazy.
Touch your heart. Touch your heart.
It touched his fourth eye. Is what it touched.
But boy, for me, and I think my answer has changed on the re-listens.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to go with what really, like, you know what? Now I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. And I'm gonna listen to every single track. It's got to be God Games. Like it has to be the animations on God Games and be like, whoa, like there's love behind every single voice, every single bit of writing. It makes sense. It's dramatic. It's hitting it. And like once again, it's just me loving stories and myths and gods and like just having a pantheon being introduced. Some of the great 12s for the Greek pantheon, and just having them just interact with each other. Having Athena, the goddess of wisdom, sit there and solo them and attempt to persuade, because that's kind of what of wisdom sprung forth from Zeus's very head. Actually sit there and convince them to look at things her own way. So I just got into it immediately. This is just, I've probably heard this track more than any other track on any other album. The most has been God Games. Like just, and then like once again, I'm not musically trained in any way. Like I do some creative writing, but like listening to the instruments that are being brought up, the sounds and the effects that we get with each and every god, it was just amazing. Like Athena with her piano and the complexity of her melody, showcasing her, how do I say, cunning aptitude. And then we have, you know, the electronic brass that you have in the base of Zeus, powerful, just freaking hitting hard, going across, like, I believe it was his father that voiced,
Hephaestus. Yep.
That's daddy. Listening,
Yeah.
having him work, hearing the hammering, drumming in the background. It just there isn't a moment of silence. You just can get and figure out what, even if you know nothing about Greek mythology, you're just listening to this. Oh, this guy's about building stuff.
Hell yeah. Trust is not given, it's forged.
Exactly. And you go across, Ares, obviously another person that's about war and combat, and you listen to the ferocity of it. Their arguments are being made. Hey, what are you building towards? What about the matters of the heart? What, are you a coward? It's just, it's sung to me in a way that really, if I didn't come across, I think if I didn't come across that song, I might not have listened to every single song. It hooked me, and it was over for me.
Yeah, it
I've been
definitely
chasing that
reached
dragon
your
ever since.
Yeah, your fourth eye, obviously, especially Dragon, baddragon.com.
Oh, yep. Are we sponsored by them?
I wish. I hate it, but I would love it.
No, just listening, and this isn't. I'm gonna mention this a ton because I was just so hooked into the actual sounds that they're being used. Now, to talk about what Shade brought up earlier with the horse and the infant. If you listening closely, the little effects that are being used, you hear a little mobile, like the thing that swings over a child's cradle, going around, and while he's thinking about, man, I'm gonna have to murder this baby.
Literally.
That's just so good. There's so much depth and weight to every moment of every song, and for me, just God Games was just a way to be like, okay, this is not just some shallow attempt at using these figures in a essentially a musical. No, they're actually did a little bit of research, and
absolutely,
I love that. I love the research. I love going to the nitty gritty. I'm gonna talk the whole time, so.
Very good. Fro, you're up next.
Yeah, so the song that really grabbed me in was Keep Your Friends Close in Ocean Song. That, oh my God. Just, for one, being someone that has evolved so much socially in the aspects of trust and what a friend is, and knowing how to be a good friend and an accountable friend, and understanding the complexities and nuances of loyalty and what it means to play a role for your friend. Like me and Tencho, we've known each other for almost 10 years now,
10
right?
years, yep, just about.
Yeah. And just upon meeting him, I recognized very quickly that we were more alike than we could ever be different. Yes, we have our differences, but we've both so famously understood, with another third person there too, we're two halves of the same nigga. And with this song, especially with the themes in it, as they venture off more into their story, heading towards the sky, it's just like, man, this song, just again, going back to the main character's voice, just so rich, it's just so empowering, and it's just like the way, his level of charm he puts into these characters, and just the belief he can instill. And quite honestly, I damn near wish this is what would have got me into One Piece, because if Luffy could project this, I'd be a super fan. And in my mind, he's portraying the perfect captain, and then just how he's going about the level of trust, how he's talking about that, and then just speaking to the faith that is men, the other 599 of them, led them in the battle, no one died. And it's just, again, this song speaking to openness, having that dialogue, and even if a friend got doubts, you got to reinstill that trust.
I don't mean to interrupt, But I did want to say our fans right now are about to enter into your favorite song, and while you were explaining that, Odysseus and Eurylochus were having the talk, and Luck runs out, and it was just like perfectly timed.
What we
Like
doing?
literally, like, and your song is coming up right now, your favorite song, and the whole time I've been like trying to attentively listen, and I'm like, this man is literally speaking to the fans. Right now.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You see it. Look, see the beauty in that art, the beauty in that, the passion in my work equals the passion in the story. It just how it's. Oh my God, I love this story. Oh, but yeah, essentially, that's it. Just the craftsman, just the way that this story is crafted. Hephaestus might as well have created the pen and pencil that the creator used.
Yeah.
You might as well have welded it together for him.
Ha
And
ha
then just
ha.
touched by Zeus and Athena for her wisdom. Like, oh man. But yeah, essentially, that's my piece.
Perfect. Mighty Genius, why don't you go ahead and wrap us up? What's the song that grabbed you and kept you in a chokehold? Ha ha ha.
Well, you know me. I like to have a good time. This song just bumps, bro. It just bumps.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the God is just dominant on it. Wouldn't You Like is just my favorite song, and the artist Troy just kills it. He kills it. He does his thing. I think he's on a couple of other songs too.
He is. He has two. He has two.
Yeah, and yeah, this man, hey, he knows how to hit them notes, man. The lyrics, they're great. Plus, I'm a Hermes fan. You know, I like the thievery, the trickery, the cunning.
Yeah.
Get back at this god. You know, I like that. It was great stuff right there. But yeah, Wouldn't You Like? It's just replayable. It's a great song, and you know, if you ain't heard it, I guarantee you hear it again, you're gonna hear what I hear. You know, it's something I play on my way to work. You know.
Okay, I'm here for that, and I think there is sort of a unifying theme between all of us as fans of Epic the Musical. I will try to offer a connection as we finish up the which this is out of order. The Ocean Saga. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's not out of order. I always think it's out of order because it's Troy, Cyclops, Ocean, Cersei. But I always feel like the Ocean Saga should be after Cersei. And it doesn't make any sense thematically or story-wise. But my head canon is the Ocean comes after Cersei and is wrong. But I think a unifying theme between our favorite songs is that there is a piece of what drives us as individuals that's reflected in our favorite songs.
Absolutely.
And I think for me, with it being Warrior of the Mind, I try to check myself against my past as opposed to relying on my past to decide my future, which is why Warrior of the Mind works for me. And God Games for Clown, for me knowing you for so long, I can understand the sort of perseverance it takes to step in and intercede for somebody who may even be able to fight for themselves, but you fuck with them so much, you'll make that choice to be like, no, you gotta understand. And everything that comes against that person, you're not blind to it. But it's like, yeah, they may not be this, they may not be that, but they are enough for me to sit here and fight all of you about it.
Okay. Honestly, I thought you were going to go with my God complex has grown so much. Your thing is way better. That's yeah. There we go. Yep, it's my caring nature for sure.
for you to have a leaning toward the idea of keep your friends close is something you've had to learn, and not to get too personal, it's something you've had to learn over time, that like no matter who I put myself in front of, the people that come with me, I trust them. You know, I will do what's necessary. You know, if I bring somebody to you, this is who the fuck I brought to you, and this is what the fuck we finna do. And if I have to check bro, I'll check bro on the side. You know, I'm not finna put him, you know, I ain't gonna put him out.
Respectfully.
Right, respectfully. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then for Mighty Genius especially, I know you like Troy because you spicy like he's spicy, and that's okay because I love Troy's music outside of Epic. I did a deep dive on Troy because just the way he carries a song, the way he carries all of his music is very much the way that you carry yourself, because it's like, I'm not cocky, I'm not arrogant, but I'm absolutely loving who I am and what I'm doing. Cause I ain't gonna do it if I don't love it, darling.
I'm different. I'm different.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Motherfuckers can't fuck with me. But I'm not being arrogant about it,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm different. Yeah, I'm different.
And I believe the story of Odysseus, the Odyssey itself, is a very good parallel for natural men in any time, because every shade of Odysseus, and I believe that's the power of this story lasting for so long, is that absolutely every man could be in any position Odysseus is in. Some are absolutely gonna give up the tainted wine to the enemy. It's like, you know, we ain't on that, and then you snaking the motherfucker, you feel me? Or, you know, could be in a situation where it's like, I really don't want to hurt these innocent people, but if these innocent people gonna come back, I got innocent people at home, and I'm good, and the person I killed wasn't good, so I'll kill you for feeling like the person that I killed was good, and you gonna come back and kill us. You know?
Monster.
Literally. Don't you get me started. You can't use words like that. I'm being triggered. In a good way. But right. Okay, so
Done for.
while I while I set up the next question, are there any things we're currently on Ruthlessness from the Ocean Saga? Are there any ideas, some short input that you have on what our viewers are watching from the Ruthlessness song that really stuck out to you, or something that you wanted to add to Ruthlessness?
Absolutely.
Mm.
What's cool about Ruthlessness is the theme that we get from this musical versus the original poem. It leans more into figuring out what matters for you and doing what is necessary to get there. And in the musical, we have the gods who are definitely a fan of Odysseus, but they're all kind of in a sense mentoring him to be more. We have Athena, who was actually his mentor, at least in the musical for sure, and in the poem as well. And we have Poseidon, who at this point, his son is saying, "Daddy, come help." He did
They
a bad
hurt
thing to
me.
They hurt me bad, Daddy. Yeah, fuck this guy. Fuck him up. And Poseidon shows up, and he actually is a fan. He's a fan of Odysseus. Who isn't a fan? This guy's a Chad. Like, if you know anything about the poem, like, the guy is just, everyone's simping for him. Gods, goddesses, kings, queens, everyone's
Literally.
simping for Odysseus. Everybody. So he shows up like, hey, it would have been so much simpler if you had just killed my son. He's annoyed that he has to
Cause
be
I wouldn't
here.
even come around looking for you or none of that shit. Cause if my kid just died, my kid was weak.
What?
You know,
Exactly right.
but-
But you made him, who's a part of me, you made him a cripple. And now I have to answer for that because now my reputation's on the line. And you know what? If I don't do this, the things I care about are at jeopardy. So I'm gonna do harm to avoid harm. And you're gonna learn about this. He tells him, you're gonna learn one thing first before I do this to you, and he does it. So also, I was talking about musicality. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep bringing this up over and over again. The instruments very being used. We have the use of trumpets for Poseidon. They're very powerful. Bam, 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 bam. It's calling up the showcase. Like you're kind of announcing him. You know, Poseidon
You
has a lot of pull.
released my storm. I'm sorry, that was an intrusive thought, but you.
No, please. But like he has a lot of swagger. Like people always talk about Zeus this, Zeus that, but every god had its swagger, and Zeus was, and Poseidon and Hades they were the big three. They had the final say. Each one had enough swagger and power where they could really influence the other, threaten them even. You're gonna see that popping up a little bit later on when we get. I think we get further along for the cow part. I forget where we're stopping. I forget where that's at, but.
Thunder Saga. We'll be stopping directly before that.
Oh, of course. Okay, so I'll leave that alone for right now. But
Gotta add, if you guys don't mind,
oh, please.
The giant
Polyphemus.
Is gonna be ruthlessly suffering for the rest of his life. You know, he's blind now.
Yeah.
With one eye.
Completely gouged out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know.
And
As
a lot of
I would
people.
hate for that to happen to any of my children.
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah,
you.
Magic, it'll be fine.
See, but the thing is, you would say that, Fro, but it's like if they have to be permanently crippled, I wouldn't want you to kill them. But if you gonna fuck them up real bad, go ahead, get rid of them. And I think that was Poseidon's point. It's like if you had just fucking killed him, I probably would have been upset, but I wouldn't have been upset with you. Now I'm upset with you because you made me have to do some other shit. Like, completely removing a responsibility can be bad. But giving me even more responsibility on something I never wanted responsibility on, and this goes back to Greek mythology. The gods have sex with everybody, anybody. They got kids, except for Ares. Ares is the only god in the Greek pantheon who ain't got a bunch of bastards. Ares don't fuck humans, which is crazy because you would think the god of war would be taking some conquests, you know. But Ares doesn't have any bastard children. But I'm sorry.
Hey, look who he's fucking with. Look who's his lover.
Yeah. Same with Hades. Like, Hades had his, and he was like, this is what I'm gonna have. But actually, I got sweeted a little bit. That was a little bit of a crit because I love me some Aphrodite.
Yes.
I love me some Aphrodite. That's off topic. Actually, it's on topic. Cause our next question is.
Well, you know what? Before you introduce that next question, I actually want to add something to what you were saying. About it's one thing to take away a responsibility, and another thing to add on more. Only a parent would be able to conceive that type of question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, only because the metrics of responsibility definitely waver depending on your lifestyle and measure of responsibilities before you add that one. And especially a little person you create, you already worry about potentially having special needs or them, special needs be coming on to them at some point or another, and then to have it happen so violently and you learn the name of the person that does it, principle,
you're done for.
You gotta do so. You can't let it slide, and I'm looking at you like, damn, bro, that's what you have to your family. Couldn't be me. And now you got people looking for you. Now you got stuff. And once I pull up on you, man, I'm on my respect from all trees.
I will say, Mighty Genius, your song is now on for the listeners. As we lead into the next question, I believe we're going to change up the order a little bit, and I'm going to let you lead just because while it's playing, I believe you could provide a really good idea for this question. Who is your favorite character / voice of the musical? Send a message.
Well, I did say I like Troy. I did say I like Hermes. You know, I like the whole Cersei series. You know, it's I say it's a series because, man, it's got a lot of deeper things going on than a lot of people I see commenting under some of the videos I see. But it's just the sheer manipulation and psychological warfare going on in this whole series. I'm like, damn, like 48 laws of power in here, you know, just insane, you know, just power plays, God versus God, and you don't really, you know, it kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger because you kind of like, what is Hermes' problem with this god that he had to go and fuck with her shit, you know, like a witch, you know, and I'm like, man, dude, I kind of want to find out some more on that stuff later if we could ever deep dive into that or any theories. But yeah, Troy the man. Troy is the man on that song. He just dominant, and I love the laughs. I love how it's like I feel like it's actually like Hermes because he's laughing and being all fun with it. And yeah, you know. I'm a giver, so I would probably, I kind of see myself as Hermes giving somebody some shit. I would be the first one to give my brother some shit that he don't need, but he'll need to take over this, whatever he doing, you know. I'll be the first one to be like, yeah, bro, wouldn't you like this here? Bro, you got that. You got Air the business, you know?
Yeah.
Dang, you know?
Okay.
Awesome chaos, you know. I'll have some fun with it, you know.
I love that. And then we'll continue the regular order, so it'll be me, Clown, and then Fro. And I believe for question 4, we'll do a similar thing where we switch because I believe one of you has a very impactful first thought, and then for the 5th question, it will be the last guest who has the first for that. So I'll pick it up. I've already said it, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but I love a horse and an infant. So I'll beat a Trojan horse. I'll beat a dead Trojan horse. Timo, period. Athena, absolutely. Hands down, no contest. I believe she is... How do I say this? I believe... she is the most impactful voice narratively, even due to her lack of presence. Every time she shows up, every time her, and this will lean back into Clown's observation, every time her musical motif shows up, you're like, like you get fervent. You're like, she's back, because I know this is what she does. It's the warped, like, whip, 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 whip. You know, like, you can tell when it's Athena time. And the animatics show it really well because that, like, sort of reversed reverb on that synth is a time manipulation, you know? And I think that because Athena is so important to Odysseus's journey as well as his family, because later on we'll see how she interacts with more than just him. But I think that my favorite voice is Athena, though my favorite character may not necessarily be the same, because I combat between Athena and Odysseus as my favorite character, and Odysseus's voice actor, which is the author of the musical. You know, like, Odysseus is Jorge, and I believe the reason he's the lead is because he knows for a fucking fact what's going on, what's down, and he plays every avenue of Odysseus' story so well that you can't count him out, even though you may have a favorite. So my favorite voice is Athena. My favorite actor is Odysseus. You know, so yeah, it's a favorite voice, and then oh my god, this animatic just went a little crazy. Uh, sorry, Cersei just said there are other acts of persuasion, there are other modes of control, and when the animatic dropped her little toga, sorry.
We can make some arrangement.
Right, my I gotta air my collar out. So Clown, go ahead, and then
Seduction.
we'll have Fro finish up for this question.
Oh wow, perfect timing actually, since we're on one of Cersei's tracks, which is perfect. So,
Mhm.
character and voice. This is tough because I believe that Taylor Sandell really killed it as Cersei. Absolutely
Mhm.
murdered it. Like her character. Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Her voice is also amazing, mind
Yeah.
you, but just incredible. The amount of just pure technical skill while singing is just impressive. But I'm gonna give it to it for character because I think that the way they utilized her in the musical was phenomenal, absolutely amazing. The use of string instruments, which I don't think we've really seen up to this point, other than Penelope, and even though oh, am I muted?
No, you're
Oh,
here. I'm listening.
good luck. Okay, sorry. Even
Loud
though
and clear.
I got another icon here. Okay, so other than yeah, I believe Penelope is the only one we've seen a lot of heavy use of string instruments.
Mhm.
And this is by Jorge's own words, where
Yeah.
he's discussing the intentionality he had with each character and how, even though they might be using similar instruments, the use of it is kind of showing what they're about. Now, we see with Cersei, very similar to Athena, we hear a melody, but it's a bit complex. It has layers to it, but it's a little quicker. Just like their wit, quick. Because you see her, but she's bringing on these men, she's turning them to pigs, she's absolutely making bacon with them, 100% sizzling. And she's doing that to protect what's hers, you know? And I thought, but just seeing that beginner arrogance of a deity happening, I mean, then being able to adapt and shift, it's like, okay, I need to do something else here because I'm not going to win in a fight, and try to get him on the backhand. There are other ways. That was very, very cool. Really, really like love that change and shift. How we hear longer use of the string instrument compared to the quick flickering, so showing that we have a lot more sincerity. And there are other ways than previously for puppeteer or done for. So that was just this love her character. I think as a character, we see so many different aspects of this character. I thought it was really cool. And in the story, like I talk about Odysseus being a Chad. Yeah, in the poem, he did get a root of some kind that prevented her from casting spells or being intoxicated or transformed by the potion.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, holy moly, 1-to-1. But Hermes gave instructions like, hey, you gotta take this. You're gonna bring up the sword point the second she's vulnerable, and then you're gonna make her swear not to hurt you. And she's gonna be so impressed by that, she's gonna take you to the bed, and you're gonna do you, King. You're gonna do you, and then she's gonna do exactly what you need her to do. She'll be stumping, and that's exactly what happens. And that was legit advice. Not to like go into what we're talking about later about differences between the poem and the musical, but that was just really, really tasteful of having that there are other ways. Even though in this, medium, this is faithful and never cheats on Penelope. And that's a very nice little wink and nod to those that recognize that part of the story. So it was super cool.
It's crazy. As you were finishing up, she was turning them back into men.
Oh, look at that.
The timing, the actual fucking timing with you boys are ridiculous. I love it.
So, but in terms of voice, for just voice though, I have to go with, I believe they're in the underworld with Mr. Oh God, I look up his name.
Tiresias.
Yeah, it's my God.
Yeah.
The almost church-like. Like very, 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 obviously very styled after like a choir, very church. You're showing up pretty much. I thought that was very, very, very beautiful.
Yeah, Tiresias's voice is definitely up in the top 5, if not top 3.
Like,
For only having one song.
Yeah, memorable. Just being pretty. That's pretty noises. Mason I'm butchering the name. Olszewski. If I'm saying that right.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautiful, very talented, very beautiful voice.
And he's pretty in real life. Like, I'm not.
How dare he be the same species as me?
Honestly, he's actually so handsome. Like, the same with this is a little bit further along, but same with Telemachus. Like, Tiresias and Telemachus are handsome men. I'm like, man, look at you. Y'all
How
can
dare
sing
you.
and you handsome. Get out of here. You just taking all the hoes.
Man,
I ain't saying he handsome because I want to kiss him or nothing, but if he's handsome, he's handsome.
hey,
Hey, you gotta
you gotta
respect
give him
it.
credit.
Right.
That's respect.
Like a Greek statue, maybe.
Right, right.
Huh? Huh?
The
I'll
David,
argue
huh?
to that point.
And it's
So, Fro, favorite voice / character?
man. So my original pick were going to be the same person, going to be Jose Rivera, Odysseus, and just
Jorge?
because. I mean,
Your racism is showing.
boy,
It starts with a J. I'm assuming the only Hispanic in the room. You good?
Fair. He's got a point. Jorge.
oh, you know what? You know what's so crazy? Anytime I think about his name, I see it written out in my mind. And I say it how it's written. But yeah, it was going to be the main character specifically just because of how much I related. Because having to be a leader, not knowing what to do, and just having to have people trusting you, and even having to eat L's. Like when you mess up, you have to be accountable to it. You got to own up to it, no matter how much shit you got to eat. But I had a beautiful change of heart because I had to remember one of the swaggiest, freaking smoothest, down to earth, colder than an ice cube in front of a fan in Antarctica. The best, like my favorite character, and just I feel like I was listening to Elton John. I ain't gonna lie, just in my mind, I think about the Hermes from Hercules, the Disney, and just how cool he was, and just how he came on the song, just so much swag, just so much presence, ambience. Like, hey, his song come on, so ass is getting shook. I can't even lie.
Shake that ass.
Hips is moving.
Shake
G. I ain't
that
gonna lie.
ass.
I'm hitting every step and walk I know.
Yep.
Make you move, bro.
And-
Make you move.
And on the run back, it's getting at least about 5 plays. But my favorite voice, if not for him, I definitely would have went Athena. Because when I think back to Warrior of the Mind, oh my God. Well, working out to that, I'm knocking out 1,000 push-ups. But I have to go back to just.
To who? Sorry, you
Man.
cut out a second.
I'm sorry, Odysseus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have to go back to the main numero uno. Is just my favorite voice, the best voice to me. Just, man, again, as narrator, curator of this epic, no pun intended. It's, man, bro, just he exudes so much of himself in everything he's in. From him rapping, hard, to those beautiful melodies.
That boy said,
Especially
Diomedes will lead the charge. Agamemnon will flank the guards. Yeah, he was in that shit. Yeah, he was in that shit.
Boy, strategize. That's what I'm talking about. And as a tactician, just hearing him lay out everything and even as someone that is competitive in nature and just, yo, when it's time to win and marks lock in, you want people to know. And it's a specific moment that I'm pretty sure will come up later in another question. When the Cyclops asks again who did it, even though, you know, brother like me would have did something a little different, but I still respect it. And he said his name, Odysseus. Like
What's
just
that?
the
Warrior's pride, bro.
bro,
That is.
bro. I damn near ripped my shirt off. Like, yeah, say it again.
Tell him one more. Tell him.
Tell him again.
Me.
Yeah.
I am me.
It's me. I'm niggas.
It's the same as the during No Longer You, the who when he says, "I see your wife with a with a man with a trail of
Yes.
bodies."
Yeah.
That boy said, "Who?"
who over there, man?
Who?
Yeah,
That's the best. It's the what, and then the who.
you know what? It makes me think about it. You know, now that you say that, that makes me think about that Snoop Dogg meme when he was on Breakfast Club. Who?
Yeah. Pretty good.
But yeah, just the range of musicality that he possesses, his creativity with his words. Again, just going back to you, feel him on the track, and it's a true testament to not only an artist, but the beautiful well-roundedness and nuance of a character. Because whether you agree with certain decisions, just even just his very gleeful but tactful nature, and just how willingly he was willing to bet on himself. Just, man, that voice, that rich, powerful voice. That his voice is something that just transcends his musical, and man, it was perfect. I wouldn't even want anyone else to play this role, but the man that I wouldn't want anybody else. Odysseus is one of the most perfect audio castings that I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, and I hate I do love the comparison because it's like silver to platinum in comparison by sort of like renown, but there are so many people online who are saying like Jorge and Hamilton, what's his name? Vivo, Moana, the boy.
Even Dookie.
No. Shut the fuck up.
That's an artist, bro.
I know that's polities, but I'm talking about Miranda. What is he made Vivo? He did Hamilton. Lin-Manuel. A lot of people are comparing Jorge to him. And like I said, I hate it, but I don't hate it because it's literally silver to platinum, because Lin-Manuel does such good work. But I believe because they're both of Spanish descent, that's why a lot of people are saying that. But like Jorge, when I tell you Jorge got something, I've watched Hamilton, and my son, I have a 6-year-old for the viewers. My son loves Lin-Manuel Miranda's Vivo, which is a Netflix exclusive animated movie about a Kinkajou and Cuba.
Wow.
I love, and Fro, I would suggest you watch it with Big Man. I would, absolutely. As long as it's gonna be on Netflix, Vivo, so good. Really good music. It's got the rapidy raps, and it's got like really good music. Missy Elliott was featured in some of the songs that were written as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you put Luke Holt in all of this?
Luke Holt is my favorite god. Athena is my favorite goddess. Luke Holt is better than Luke Holt. For anyone who doesn't know, that's Zeus's musical talent. Thunderbringer was my favorite song from the moment it debuted until the Ithaca saga, which was like a 4 or 5 month period. Thunderbringer held me. After Warrior of the Mind, Thunderbringer is my favorite song because I liked him on The Horse and the Infant so much. but actually getting him to have his own song in Thunderbringer really showed me why I fuck with Luke Holt. I follow Luke Holt on TikTok. I watch his gaming streams. Luke Holt is actually up there.
Beautiful voice, beautiful, deep, and honestly, he captured the arrogance of
Yeah.
so fucking well.
Zeus
Like,
could be
Monica,
twirling his fucking hips with Luke Holt's
Like,
voice.
yeah, like
What?
actually,
He
fucking
could be
delivered.
smiting niggas and twerking, and I would still be scared with Luke Holt voice.
Like,
Thunder bringer.
Mm-hmm.
and the way he makes it so kind of icky. By describing it as like, if you guys know much about like what Zeus be up to, but you don't want your girl or anyone you care for anywhere near this guy.
Nowhere. Get him away.
No, like
Hide
listen,
your kids, hide your wife, and hide your
your wife.
husband. Because he raping everybody out here.
if you're
That was
lucky-
about Zeus.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, he's not gonna be a goose while he does it.
Yeah. That's what's crazy too.
All right, fellas. I got to go to the bathroom. I'm going to leave you to open the floor to questions for each other while we're playing. We just entered the Thunder Saga, so they're going to have some background vocals. But I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go use the bathroom. So
The
entertain
timing
yourselves.
once again. Once again. So I guess I would like to ask, which saga, of the 8 specifically is a favorite in its entirety of y'all's?
That's tough. You can start it off, Mighty. Or, like, I had to think about this one for a bit because I am. I mean,
Well, you can't say the one you said earlier, right?
Oh, I mean, no.
Get to know you a little bit more, right? 'Cause I'm gonna say the Underworld saga. That's what I'm gonna say.
yeah. If it's
That's
your,
my top. You know that.
if-
you know.
if that's the one you mess with in its entirety, let it be that, and they'll definitely expand on why.
Because I can be conflicted. So
Mhm.
Monster is just like a go-to when I'm feeling
Facts.
conflicted. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
parent,
Yeah.
It's definitely a great song. And it kind of helps me put I guess
Into
it just,
perspective.
things into perspective to get things done. If I have to be a certain way, I get it done. Not
Yeah.
like I'm trying to be this monster. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying? I'm trying to if I gotta be stern, I'll be stern with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And,
like oh, sorry. go ahead.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna just add to what you're saying, and I definitely want you to continue your point. I say it's kind of like what a man who shall not be named in this context once said in a commercial to the late great. No. I'm sorry. What the late great Kobe Bryant said to a man who shall not be named for contextual purposes: you got to be a different monster, same beast. And that's what I believe Monster encapsulates for you by having to incorporate so many different elements about yourself while still remaining.
Yeah.
damn.
But please continue. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But yeah, so like that, I guess that saga has the most deeper meaning for me, especially accepting the ones that are no longer with us, that we hold dear, true, and yeah. Your turn, clown.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready now. Okay. All right. So it has to be the Thunder Saga for sure. I mean, if I had to pick one and just listen to that, if I'm not allowed to pick the Cersei the saga, but it had to be the Thunder Saga. I just love every single track that's on here.
Yeah.
Suffering, the bubblegum pop style that was being used for that. The interesting use of vocals when the siren was actually giving him facts, being truthful with Odysseus, and you hear, he can't hear it, but we hear her inhuman voice come online again. It's just very, very subtle and very, very like thoughtful use of voice. And then we go along with Scylla. Oh, that track.
Now jump in the water.
Oh, so good.
So Tencho, the
Yeah.
question I posed to the guys was, what is your favorite saga in its entirety from beginning to end?
Ooh, ooh, you got me fucked up.
Gonna be
um,
stuck.
now it is a tie. I will tell you my first place, but it's like a 99.6 and a 99.7.
Okay.
My favorite period is the Ithaca saga.
Okay.
I can't it has my favorite song in the whole project, which I won't talk about, but my absolute favorite as a father and an enjoyer is in the Ithaca saga. I That's not what put me in a chokehold, but I waited years to hear the fruition after the demo that he put on his TikTok for one of the songs on the Ithaca saga. But I still say this: Thunder Saga is what made me start reaching out to my friends and family to teach about Epic.
Right.
After hearing Thunderbringer, I knew for a fact I had to tell everybody that I cared about who I thought might enjoy it. And then when you hear something like "Kill them all, kill them all, kill them all," what stop? Thunder Saga. Shut up. Don't say nothing to me because the Thunder Saga. But yeah, Ithaca Saga is my number one, but Thunder Saga is only 100th of a% less.
So good. Like actually, like one of the main like changes of the story. But I was like, wait, that's actually it threw me off when I first heard it. I was like, you know what? I like this still. This is really cool. The first great like I would say we see a real decrease in the number of crew.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Technically, Poseidon attacked first, and
See,
then
but
it was
I get where
yeah.
you're coming from because even after Ruthlessness, he goes 43 left under your command. I feel like I didn't feel that loss until Scylla.
Yeah. When you really like 6 guys died, so you can go see your wife. What the fuck, basically.
And it's different than like 512. I don't know why it felt like that. But
Yeah,
like,
it does. Lets you know what? One of those statistics versus tragedy things. It's probably when you get a big number and then a bunch of people die, that's just history. Well, it's just a few. It's a bit more personal, you know.
especially because I think Odysseus knowing and giving the 6, which is reflected in the next track after Scylla, which we're listening to Scylla right now.
$6.
Literally, like
Yeah.
if you lose $100 out your account when you got 600, you're like, damn, they got my money. But if it's your last $9 and Netflix is like, hey, $8.99, you're like, fucking shit, bitch.
Personal now. Hold on. What are we doing?
I only had $9.72. You took $8.99, you bitch.
So good.
I think because we look at that percentage basis when we do
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
right? We just,
You're right.
Like, oh, that's 90%. What are we doing? You know?
No, I misspoke. I think well, this is gonna come as a question later on, so I'll nix that. But them sending Zeus actually did happen in the poem as well. He just struck the ship with lightning and just started like flailing, this left and right thunderbolts. And I thought that was very interesting, seeing Odie sit there and be like, you know what? Yeah, you were gonna die. I'm aware. I'm sad about it, but it's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that was just
especially
very
after
powerful.
so many, and I think it's almost the opposite as a viewer. But for Odysseus, he cared more in the Ocean Saga, and we as viewers care more in the Thunder Saga. So by the time the Thunder Saga rolls around, Odysseus is like, Polites and already got fucking smashed in front of my face, and he destroyed a bunch of our fucking ships. So these 6 fuckers, like, I've already fucked up. I'm gonna do what the fuck I gotta do. My mama is singing to me in the river Styx, and Polites trying to get me to jump in the river. You feel me? It's like, I don't fucking care anymore because I done already fucked up, and I relate to that. I try not to feel that way, but I don't give a fuck. Like, if I done already lost my job, I know I'm late on rent. Me giving a fuck about Netflix wanting some money? Fuck Netflix. I care about Netflix before my rent is due. You know? Before my girlfriend cheats on me, I care about Netflix, and I want to make sure Netflix get their money. But after my girlfriend cheat on me and leave me, and my homie passed away, getting this little $6 out of my bank account, fuck it. I'm going home. I'm going home.
Very relatable.
Netflix
We've
will
all been
always
there.
be there for you, Tenchi. Don't worry. It'll
Literally.
always be there.
Hey, are you still watching? 'Cause we are.
Literally. Because we are as crazy.
So, I guess as the last person on, my favorite saga from beginning to end is definitely the first.
Troy.
Because of
Yep.
the tone, the tone it sets, and then even right now, just being away from my son and girl right now, it's like I feel that wanting to get back to them. Like being at a
Full
great
speed
distance,
ahead.
man. Oops, man. So I'm just relating to that very specifically right now. So that's why it's my favorite.
Okay. I love that. There's like a personal tie to that I think a lot of us would like I said, the reason that I invited all of you and I sent you the prompts is because I believe that the Odysseus mentality is reflecting in each of us, with 3 of us being fathers, as well as Clown doesn't like to acknowledge this part of himself, but now I'm finna tell on you because you said something earlier that kind of fucking got on my nerves.
Oh, no.
You were like, oh yeah, me caring about people, that's a better reason than what I was thinking. Nigga, you care about people. I don't care. you
Listen,
always.
I can't sit here, over here, fucking blaspheming my name here. How
You-
dare you?
You swear up and down you're like completely agnostic of friendship, and you're literally everybody you know's like most close confidant. Bro, shut up.
It's a long con.
Island a confidant.
He's actually the best person to talk about whenever anything is going wrong, because if it's real bad and he can't do shit, he'll at least make you laugh. If he can do something about it, he'll give you advice. Like, you piss me off because you're such a great friend.
That's what I'm doing. How dare you? How dare you?
You're definitely daring the shit out of me. But sorry, that was a little bit off script. But I just have to say that, like, this guy who we're talking with today, viewers as well as other guests, this is a quality guy. Actually, the best friend to have in a bad time. So that sort of leads me into an idea that I hadn't thought about when I made the question. But now that we're listening to Mutiny with our viewers, if you could alter one moment in the journey, what would it be? And I'll start this off. Mutiny. The entire fucking song. Eurylochus never trusted his captain. And you can see it as early as the Ocean Saga, that Eurylochus was feeling like, oh, we can't do this, or why you telling us to do this? And he's the only one of the crew, which he's the first mate. And it's like, I brought you because I trust you more than anybody. And I can understand a certain perspective, whereas it's like, Odysseus doesn't trust me. He doesn't listen to what I said. But it's like, this is not your ship. These are not your people. You did not lead us to victory. I chose you because I thought you trusted me. And I'm telling you, like, hey, you can talk to me. Just don't talk to me in front of these guys. I'm not saying I don't trust you. I'm not doing what you say. I would change Eurylochus. Instead of Polites being killed, I would have Eurylochus get killed. Sorry. Not sorry. Don't give a fuck.
I relate.
Eurylochus should have been like, Captain, instead of Polites. So again, if you could alter one moment in the journey the project presents, what would it be?
I would have loved, I mean, really, really loved it if, well, I would have liked more suffering. I think I would have liked the Land of the Giants to be not just a mention, but actually a whole saga.
Yeah.
When the bag was open, they were blown away. Oh, we're going to the Land of Giants. That was a whole ordeal.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
deeply traumatized the
Yeah.
crew. Like super summarized. They got blown away. Once again, okay, we have to go into another island, guys. This is gonna go well for us. They're walking on the island. They see this giant ass kid show up, like, and then they're like, okay, yeah. So can you take us to your leaders? We need supplies. We need to figure out a way back home. And not everyone was on the island. I think the main ship wasn't, because of the way it was positioned. But only like Odie and them stuck back to the main ship. But everyone else was kind of exploring the island. And they got introduced to the king and queen of giants, and they went in hard on the cannibalism. Super hard. Like, I understand why they used Poseidon to kind of show that he's the main antagonist for Odysseus.
Yeah.
But I would have liked maybe for them to have a turn first, because I think that having that deep-seated like amount of like trauma before reaching Cersei would have been really, really interesting, and how them exploring Cersei's island, how much they really wanted to relax and be at peace after fighting this oasis, after dealing with that shit. I think that would have been really, really interesting to have a giant saga.
Okay. And I think that sort of leads into, before I let you you both chime in, I think that sort of leads into some of the notes that you have for me, Clown. And I believe that you have an interesting point that when this finally does reach, because I believe it's going to reach the stage, before it reaches the stage, that is something that I could champion as an idea to extend, because the music itself is 2.5 hours, but I believe that for a musical, it is not simply the musical numbers that comprise the entire show. So I believe that in between musicals, we could fit something in between the Ocean and Cersei saga that sort of covers that level of seriousness and depth that would lend more to the original poem as well as the story of Epic itself. Because we have to recognize that Epic is not the Odyssey. And that's completely fine and intentional, I believe, from the creator's point of view. It is not to be the Odyssey. And that's where the creative license comes in. It's like, because if I was just going to make a musical about the Odyssey, it would just be Odyssey the musical. You know, so I think that we were able to sort of get a glimpse into the changes that would be made, because with you reading the original poem, you were able to sort of take key moments, even though a lot of Epic are abridged key moments, there's something that could be added there for a bit more of, I don't want to say gravitas, but like an easier way to flesh out sort of Odysseus's mindset moving forward. Because the Thunder Saga is absolutely super tonally different than every other saga, which is why the Thunder Saga is my second favorite by only a moment. And it's the same that Ithaca is my favorite, because in that moment, the tonal shift is so grand that you can't help but notice the character progression. But sorry, I didn't mean to tangentially expound. Fro, the original question was, if you could alter one moment in the journey, what would it be?
I actually don't mind going. I'm not going last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm actually curious about Venus's. What's the name?
All right, Mighty.
Mine is kind of like, you know, I like the trickery and stuff. So if I could like change one thing just to see, just to start like a theory, or just to, you know, ramble with people's ideas, is what if Zeus decided to just not kill them, but he just was like, just to see what Odysseus would say. He would just put this pressure on him to make a choice. Are you going to choose yourself, or are you going to choose your crew? And then just decides to do nothing.
That's interesting. That's super cool.
I kind of like that.
Would some of the crew decide to understand Odysseus's way? Or would some of the crew go with Eurylochus, right? He was the main one trying to, would they go with Eurylochus? And would Eurylochus have a change of heart at this moment? Like, what would go through their minds? I just kind of want to, you know, see what you guys would think about that.
That's fun. Because in the poem, the reason why Zeus was sent out is because it killed the god of Helios' cow.
Yeah.
And basically, it was about to be lights out. Like, Helios was so upset, who's literally the sun, like, you killed literally one of my best friends. This is some nonsense. About that. No sunlight anymore on the mortal plane. We're lighting up the basement, the underworld. You guys are getting a single ray of sunshine forever. And Zeus is like, okay, hold up.
But before you fuck up I got hoes down there, bro. I got hoes. Hold on, let me go ahead and handle it for you, bro. Don't do that.
And then making that moment a teachable moment. Like, we talk about the gods mentoring and loving and fostering and teaching Odysseus things, even if they're at against them. But, like, you know, speaking about kings, like, there's very few kings in the musical epic.
Yeah.
That we come across. So Zeus having a one-to-one with another fellow king and emphasizing, hey, you gotta be that dog, gotta be the king, do what's best for you. At the end of the day, you're the most important thing in the kingdom, is you. And showing that arrogance and being sincere while sharing that with him. You know, as we know, Zeus is a bit of a, honestly, selfish dick. So him making that a teachable moment, hey, be a selfish dick. It was very fun for me, for sure.
I just did. What you gonna do about it, champ? Sorry, that it was just playing in the background. I had to. I had to. That's one of the best lines in the whole show. Don't you call my mother a tramp? I just did. What you gonna do about it, champ? So, bro, round us out with what you might have heard that you might like changed in the journey.
Man, me, absolutely. Odysseus saying his
Saying his what? It cut out for
his
me.
name.
Oh
Saying his
yeah,
name to the Cyclones.
yeah.
I've
Polyphemus.
always felt like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're nobody. Or you know what? On just some cocky stuff and just to feel superior to. Just create a name that you did something to the god's son. Never be able to get back on them because they don't even exist. And it's like, bro, all your monkey ass had would just shut the fuck up. That's it. But no, like, I understand avenues of arrogance and cockiness. I never say that I don't. But with that, to me, bro wasn't thinking the long game. He wasn't. He just was not. Because that one unnecessarily selfish act, especially when you are known, it's like, come on, bro. Like,
It's only one
Like-
nigga named Odysseus in all of
Like,
Greece,
bro.
bro. Like you
Like,
ain't got a
bro.
common name. You're not John Smith, bro. You're
exactly,
Odysseus of
special
Ithaca.
nigga. You are a special nigga. Like, and special in an awesome ass way, bro. Into battle and none of them that. Nigga, I get your name is your name is Tyrone today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Fuck.
my god.
Like, I just get angry thinking about that shit sometimes. Like, bro, shit. Like, oh my god, man, I be having to pause the song and not out the song. Like, bro, shut your wrong stupid ass up. The fuck? You fucking up the church money.
That's crazy. I'm gonna need you.
But that changes. Never have him say his name. Keep it at nobody, or just make up another legend. That'll be a forever inside joke to you and your crew, because y'all conquered Cyclopses. Like people just don't live through that.
It
Like,
does make you wonder if Athena would help throughout the whole like Cersei season. Too.
I think so.
Make
I
sure
genuinely think
you
so.
Like how would she go about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
will bring blood and tears.
That is interesting. She's very powerful. Like she is she has a juice behind her for sure. Like honestly, Polites dying, not dying early, would have been an interesting dynamic. If everything else played out the same way, but have Polites still part of the crew, he kind of was like the bridge between like the crew and Odysseus. Like he was a real number two. I kept the peace.
Eurylochus would have he would have got folded though.
Good.
That would have
Good. Didn't you hear me earlier? Good. Fuck Polites. Fuck him. Get him crushed underneath the club, bro.
It
Right?
wouldn't even be mentioned, you know? He says Polites, what you say to my
That
home?
that
No,
boy
what?
said,
Nah, you off the boats. You off. Go.
get him out of
Get his
here.
ass whooping with open arms.
Literally.
To the sirens. He's gone.
Yo, hey, that's actually a crazy alternative where Polites might have been susceptible to these sirens because he is such an open-armed individual that if he had someone who was important to him that the sirens pretended to be, he might have been susceptible to it. But from what we see in Epic, the sirens were really only talking to Odysseus because Odysseus has the greatest connection to a non-in-attendance human. Is like sirens have a sort of telepathic power, and this is from Jorge's description of how he wrote the sirens. They have the ability to read your thoughts, but it is based on your ability to talk to them. So when the crew in Odysseus put wax in their ears, what the sirens telepathically gained was sort of muddled when they talked back. It's like, I know you got a wife, but because you can't hear me, I can't draw more than I want to go home to my wife, because that's a base desire. You know, and the way he wrote the sirens was in an effort to use their magic as like, if I get you unaware, I can dig as deep as I want. But because of the beeswax in their ears, which is a physical magical split, which is fantasy, so you gotta give it some grace, because even as I'm explaining it, it's like, this sounds like a little bit of bullshit.
Save the bees.
You know? But I think that Polites might have been more susceptible than Eurylochus because of his kind-hearted nature. So that's actually a separate world line where Eurylochus get fucking smashed by the club because put me on that world line. I don't give a fuck. But also Polites.
Odysseus, where did you go?
Sorry, I was enjoying Eurylochus getting smashed to bits in my head, and I lost track of what I was saying.
Captain.
Literally. We're actually reaching we're actually reaching the final question that we have for this episode, and we're just under 2 hours, so I think this would be really good if we can sort of transition into this next one as we're entering the end of the wisdom saga for our friends, our viewers. Are there any other stories you would like to see presented in this style of musical, whether it's Greek or not? Like the way that Jorge has arranged the project from everything you like and dislike. Do you think that there are any stories that you think the original creator could sort of bring life to that's not, even if it's already been adapted? Are there any stories that you believe that this style of musical could lend an extra wing of life to?
Wow. It's a fun one for me.
I will start this one. Actually, no.
Oh.
The person who's starting this, because I already mentioned it earlier, and I like to keep Marvel Cinematic Universe level of continuity, which means none at all. Fro, you start. Is there another story that you're aware of, whether it's already been a game, movie, TV show, book, that you think this style of musical could represent really well?
Yeah, I had a feeling I was gonna be going first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I actually got 5. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry, 6. I have 6.
That's nuts.
So the first, Avatar: The Last Airbender. That last Airbender.
Avatar
love
the
to see-
musical would be crazy. I agree.
Zuko showing the beautiful sonnets from Uncle Iroh. Like, imagine how villainous Lord Ozai was. Oh my god. The next is Lupin the Third. With my old OG heads.
Yeah, I could love that. I could love that.
So the next, this might be a little bit of a curveball. Danny Phantom.
Yes. That's fun.
Just imagine just you hearing the melody. I'm going ghost. Like just he's and imagine him singing that in distress or evil Dan. Oh my god, that shit is so cold. Another man. I hope they do this. Samurai Jack.
You think
Oh.
Samurai Jack would be a good musical?
Hell yes.
I'm raising my eyebrow at you. Can you dive a little bit into what scenarios might make good songs?
His first encounter with Aku. When he's in Africa as a child, and you would more than likely have the elders and the young boys singing. I mean, because granted, this will give a little bit more life to Jack, and because Jack can be considered a very cool, just historically silent series to it. But I do feel that once you add in the musical, you can ad lib a lot of things and elevate a lot of other scenes that were usually silent, and then fill them with a type of song, or if not, have the narrative staying on his perspective, and again continue that ambience being the narrator, not just Jack in his life. So for me, yeah, that when he meets the Irishman, Scotsman, when he battles his evil self,
the
Man,
pumped
oh.
up Jays episode.
Yes, that one. Yeah, when he
when he
getting
had
concert.
the John Cena Skrillex.
Yeah, boy. Absolutely. And yeah, and man, don't get me started on season 2.
Okay,
And that was
so you sold me a little
with
bit
his
on
daughter.
Samurai Jack.
Man, bro.
That's number 4.
Imagine. So okay, so yeah. Number 4, number 5. Now this one is a bit niche, and if you've seen it, you've witnessed true peak, Eden of the East.
I've heard of Eden of the East. I have not seen
it is a man, bro. That show is it. It'll put you in the mind of like Squid Games before Squid Games, but without the crazy over the top killing for the most part. But it does question morality and what you're willing to do for money, and how would you alter the world given a true chance at doing more. And finally, again, kind of taking it back to anime, the first season. I'm sorry, season 2. Wait, yeah. Part 1, season 2 of JJK. With young Gojo, young Suguru, and that boy Toji.
Alright, I ain't gonna lie, I'm sick of the JJK glaze. I'm not shitting on you specifically.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of the JJK glaze because these niggas is not Naruto, bro. These niggas is not Yusuke, bro. They and I get it, cause they somewhat like these niggas not Inuyasha, bro. For your niggas to be like, hell yeah, bro. They got a talking anthropomorphic panda. Chill out on JJK.
Look. The panda's deep. It get deeper than rap, bro. I promise you. It's deeper than rap.
And I'm telling you, I'm gonna watch it. Before I continue that, I won't continue that ever until after I watch the entire of the series. I'm probably just gonna read it. I'm probably not gonna watch it because I feel like you're coming from a reader standpoint.
Oh no. Trust and believe. I'm doing that because the anime enhanced it so much. Feel everything more. Like certain events that happened, it was cool in the anime, but in manga, bro, it's elevated to such a state with the music can create such just unique ambience that it just makes it almost a completely different show from what you've read in the manga. And look, we come from the same generation of anime. I'm telling you right now, the character dynamics of this show, the themes, and just how everything is written. It's beautiful. And whenever you can, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
I'll put it. I'll put it in my June. I've been trying to select like non-user generated content to indulge in because I've read 4 full novels this year, and I want to sort of expand that back into a different, like into just enjoying things.
Right.
So I'll put that on there. I got an asterisk by some JJK the musical because I understand you fucking with it, and I'm also like, some musical Yuji Itadori is something I can learn about.
And check it, right? You haven't really gotten the experience that I got from the series because, again, like I said, I read how it really, really blew up. Like, it was already like a little popular, but when I got to it, it was still like in its popularity infancy for real. So I'm telling you right now, bro, like that shit has so much well-written gas. It's ridiculous. Like just how as a reader, I'm definitely still privy to certain things that do happen that I definitely don't want to spoil. Um, but man, bro, just everything that happens in this fucking show, it's crazy. And just seeing that as a musical, oh my god, that shit would be like it would again, it would raise the profile of the show even more to me. Because like I said, I man, reading everything and then watching everything, man, bro, it's gonna be a whole nother experience, especially because I'm very attached to like two specific characters, one character a little bit more, and and you already know who it is, my blue-eyed brother.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Mighty
Oh
Genius.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, when,
My bad.
when you get to,
I can talk about JJ.
yeah,
Okay.
Mighty Genius. If you could adapt any story into Jorge's style of musical, what might it be?
What I think would go really well, especially with the music that we've heard from his epic series with Odysseus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big like huge Star Wars nerd, bro. I
Hell
think
yeah.
Star Wars,
Oh yeah.
like, give us a prequel. I
So
think
you
he
mean
would do
even
great for
before
that.
Luke? You mean all non-Skywalkers, sort of like a KOTOR thing, or?
Prequel is Anakin. Prequel is about
Oh, right.
how Anakin, he was a kid. He gets indoctrinated into the Order. He falls like him. That would be crazy.
So you
fall,
think
that
Anakin
would be
could
nuts.
be Odysseus?
I think
That would be
Jorge
crazy.
could do a great Anakin, and maybe Penelope could be like Padme.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we will get the Obi-Wan, and then we'll
Athena.
get the
Mhm.
yeah. We'll definitely have little Qui-Gon, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yoda would be Yoda. We don't know who would do Yoda, but that would be nuts. if
That would
somebody
be
could do
crazy.
Yoda.
Yoda in the musical would actually be fucking nuts.
But I'm
Musical
just, like,
Yoda is
thinking-
crazy.
Order 66 in the musical would be just like its own little saga, the fall, Anakin's fall, and then that would be crazy. Yeah. So I would like to see how he would do Grievous because of the coughing,
Well,
Dooku with
did you like
Obi-Wan banter.
Polyphemus?
Yeah.
That was Jorge. Polyphemus,
Okay.
the Cyclops, was Jorge.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
so
do Darth Sidious though.
Ooh, that's fun.
that's kind of crazy. You would have to get somebody like
Unlimited power.
Rasputin from fucking Anastasia, like a old raspier, you know.
Ooh, let it float.
The dark side is coming. It wants to be yours. You have to be sure of the things you endure. I can't make
Have
a
you
Palpatine
ever
voice,
heard
but
the tragedy of Vegas. I just go
so we got a prequel there from you. Did you have a secondary? I know Star Wars is like sort of your main thing.
I mean, I was definitely gonna say like Clone Wars, Ahsoka, Darth Maul. That shit was crazy. The finale was nuts. I would like to see that. Those 3 episodes. But if I could hop into the anime. Everybody says Naruto. I would actually like to see a Kakashi. I
Hell
wanna see
yeah.
that. Because he loses Minato, he loses Obito for a while.
Now that's something
he has
sick.
to endure killing Rin. He has a lot of lore that Jorge could expand on.
Kakashi
I think it'd be
Rendon. I feel like it's Kakashi Rendon and not Kakashi Hidan. But Kakashi has a novel about his time. It's mostly like pre-Boruto, post-Shippuden.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, he uses purple lightning in it, right?
yeah, and he kept up a mud wall for like 2 months around, like an entire mud wall that could like cover the entire village. He kept that bitch up for a long ass time, and like the Kakashi light novel is crazy. But so you think it would be Anakin or Kakashi that Jorge could put?
Yeah, I would like to
Okay.
see how he would do to Kakashi, because Kakashi is kind of real serious. I want to see that serious Jorge come. Anakin, he has a lot of anger, and we can definitely do that real easy, you know.
Mm. Okay. Clown. And then I will
Man.
wrap us up, and that'll be where we do our resurfacing exercise.
Oh man, that's. I didn't even consider anime. That's a lot of interesting ones. I've been into that stuff since I was a 5.
So
Oh
40
man.
years ago, that's crazy.
Yeah, right. At least 50 years ago. But I mean, I'm gonna start off with just doing an anime because that's just super interesting to me. I think when it comes to musicals, you want some kind of hero's journey, and you want tragedy to strike to overcome. I think as much as I would like a Sailor Moon or something, maybe something old like Yu Yu Hakusho would be fun. I think
Hell yeah.
I think Full Metal Alchemist would
Oh
go
my God,
Cheers.
hard
Cheers
as
with the water in my
would go
jar,
so
bruh.
fucking hard. Like
So
if I had to choose anime, that would absolutely like the equivalent exchange to exploration of truth. Is that the point of art, to explore what truth is? Is it objective? Is it subjective? I just know that it'll cost you an arm and a leg to figure it out. But like,
Figuratively and thematically and literally.
but I mean, 'cause I wanted people to like appreciate more of the classics. I love how accessible like Epic is for anyone to get into. I introduced my sisters into it. I'm not sure how far along they are, but they would have never even like heard any of these names or any of the stories without it. I would love to go back to the way back. One of the oldest stories in written history. I
Oh,
would
Jack the
love
Ripper.
Gilgamesh.
Oh, you're
Hell yeah.
crazy.
Gilgamesh. My man
Gilgamesh, that
Enkidu,
boy.
the wild man, the king of kings, Gilgamesh. I want to see that trail, that journey for immortality happen.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal. The rise and fall of the relationship, the deep bond and trust, mourning your best friend. There's so much there to draw from. And we've seen that these ancient tales can be adapted. I think that he has a talent for this, making this accessible. I think that's the direction I would go, or maybe a little newer. Maybe Osiris would be interesting going into Egyptian mythology. I think we don't have too much there for
That
musicals.
would be sick
That
as
would be
fuck.
super
Yeah,
rough.
that would be sick as fuck.
Those are two. If I'm going to classics, like really, really classic, like that would be amazing. But if I'm choosing anime, it has to be Fullmetal Alchemist. If I'm choosing classic, it has to be Gilgamesh or maybe Osiris. But Gilgamesh, I think, would be amazing because people would realize, wow, this is one of the most oldest fucking stories. This is old as hell.
This is story. Fuck.
This is story, okay? This is truly a never-ending story. The
Yeah.
first one, Preston Cuneiform. Like everyone else after this, they borrowed from it, and that's I think there's something beautiful and unifying about that. But at the end of the day, we're all sharing stories and trying to put the world and ourselves in boxes and in categories where we can understand better. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Okay. I have absolutely been taking notes that I'm going to start seeding into the comments of Jorge's videos. By the way, so for my choices, I will be absolutely siphoning each one of you. When it comes to stories I would like to have adapted by a style like this, even if it's not Jorge, because obviously this has taken 4.5 years of his life And at
Hell yeah.
27 years old, he don't have a whole bunch of 4-year, periods to focus and find. I would say Kids Next Door for a cartoon. I would love to hear a Kids Next Door musical following Nigel Uno. That's just where I would take the cartoon side of it. Like, hell yeah. Give me like a bunch of youthful voice actors providing their opportunities, even some moon operatives, dealing with the delightful children from down the lane, different countries of kids, and maybe even doing the Agent Zero timeline, would be really good for that style for me. In terms of ancient stories, you got me fucked up if I don't want to hear Journey to the West. You got me fucked up if I don't want Odysseus to be Wukong. I would love to hear some Wukong going through, getting each stage of immortality. You feel me? Fighting. Yeah, give me a Wukong. And then for anime, I'm sorry, I hate how hard I want this. I want the original first season of Gundam.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
I want a
that's
Gundam
good.
musical because I believe, even I was thinking while you guys were talking, I was thinking Evangelion, but I think Gundam has more like, I don't know how to say it. The original first season of Gundam has so much weight and like personalized, impersonal actions that, and I think a lot of people, because Gundam is so like goated, quote unquote, but also so old, there are many anime fans who don't watch no fucking Gundam at all. Because everybody knows Gundam is just big robot, but they don't understand the political and socio-economical themes that are in Gundam that are like taxing on the human psyche.
Yeah.
And then my final one, and this is something that I've always kind of wanted to have explored as like a stage play. And this may be a little bit strange, so I'm prefacing it beforehand. I think something like Clifford the Big Red Dog would make a really good musical.
Oh, I could totally see that. That's not strange. I
Yeah,
could
that,
totally
works,
see that.
that absolutely works.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Caillou or some shit. But I'm down with a
Definitely
big red dog.
plays of-
Yeah,
there's
Clifford
definitely
could be
plays for
a
that, so-
great ass musical, bro. Like,
Yeah, there's definitely plays.
I would love
Go
to
around.
see that. Because I don't know. I think Emily Elizabeth as a character, even though it's from my childhood, she always stuck with me as like a person who really occupied a soft place for humanity, if that makes sense. And I don't think a lot of characters, especially in musicals, because they try to make it dramatic, because it is a dramatized, area of entertainment. But having somebody extremely caring and understanding and a moral compass for everyone around them is, I sort of think, why you would say Full Metal Alchemist. Because it's like those characters really provide a normal but morally just character dynamic. And it's sort of the exact opposite of Odysseus, where Odysseus is fighting to be morally just in everything. And he realizes throughout his journey that it's like, me having all these goddamn feelings is The reason niggas is dead. Like, my homies got fucked up because I'm trying not to do some sneaky shit. You know, it's like, and he goes from being good to being bad. But with a character like Emily Elizabeth and Clifford, where it's like you can't help but understand everything he does wrong is completely normal and acceptable if you weren't spectacular, if you weren't peculiar, you know. And to be like, you know, yeah, I wish he was normal, but he's doing what normal dogs do. He's just fucking huge as fuck.
You.
I
So
do wanna,
yeah.
add a history character.
Mm.
I don't know if any of you have seen. There's like a Stars series for Leonardo da Vinci called Da Vinci's Demon.
Mm.
Wow,
They
that
made
sounds
him-
good.
They made him kind of like a superhero. Like his genius is like how he fixes the problems throughout the show. He uses his inventions and stuff to get him to where he needs to be, and he saves a lot of lives. He takes a lot of lives. He's actually really good at with the swords and stuff, and it's a lot of great visuals in that show. Really great, a lot of romance, funny moments. Highly recommend it. I would like to see it like, or hey, do some for Leonardo da Vinci. You know, I think that would be really cool,
Yeah, that sound raw.
especially with all the Medici's, and then you got the Catholic Church chasing him, trying to stop him to use him, take over Florence, and all this.
And you said that's a
It's
Max
insane.
show or
It's a Stars.
Stars? Okay, okay.
Yeah, the
I could do
Stars. They made that. So
Let me-
Spartacus.
I'm gonna
Spartacus
add
was
that
really
to
good.
Spartacus. I fucked with. I was just also in a position where grievous violence and sexual content was out of my wheelhouse when it was airing. But I think Spartacus, from what I've seen, is actually more than just like gratuitous violence and unlimited sex. So I would like to. It's the same thing with Game of Thrones.
There are
Like,
sex scenes. They're not like crazy, but you know, they're it's the Stars. So Stars does that. That's kind of like one that they just added. You will see some nipples. Pitchy.
yeah, and that's all right because I even started rewatching Game of Thrones recently because that was a part of the thing that, like, Jason Momoa actually turned me the fuck off of Game of Thrones when he when he had an interview about his favorite scenes, and it was like forced sexual interactions was his favorite scenes. And I get it because it's representation, and he's not saying I love to rape women, but he's like, you know, that was really fun because he got to be a person who can make it safe, you know, because like even when Daenerys's actor talked about it, she's like, no, he would wear, like, even though we were fully naked, he would like cover up himself with like a sock, and he would stop us from recording to make sure I was okay. But like when you tell me your favorite scene is like,
Yeah, it's just still kind of weird.
Sexual violence. Yeah, it's a bit tough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a bit rough.
yeah, it's like,
Ain't no
I
way
fuck
can
with you,
turn it-
king,
just
but
might as well not say
also,
shit about it.
you know, is this your king?
Yeah.
Only word he
Definitely
knows the language. No.
The less
Fucking
you say in
brutal.
that situation, the better.
And to be fair, most of his scenes were either on a horse or fucking a woman. So obviously, riding a horse and getting saddle sores is less fun than having a naked woman in front of you.
Fair.
That kind of draws me into like, well, what could Jorge do for Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings or Game of
But who would he-
Thrones.
would he be the king or would he be Frodo?
I'm pretty sure if he did Lord of the Rings, this is just what I believe, he would do like a Gandalf or Aragorn angle. He wouldn't do a Hobbit angle. Even though Lord of the Rings is about Frodo, I think he would probably do an Aragorn or Gandalf angle for a full show.
Aragorn, that nigga though.
Yeah. And same thing with Game of Thrones. I could see a Jon Snow musical, but I think a woman could do a better Game of Thrones musical as Daenerys.
You know, if I could make one more old story, if I would think it would be, Anansi would be very interesting.
Oh,
Seeing a bit more
yeah.
representation and hearing stories that just aren't structured the way we're used to hearing them, would be
Yeah.
very cool.
Now, would you like the American Gods Anansi or like the storybook Anansi?
I've seen a little bit of the American Gods one. I haven't finished it. I was more familiar with the storybook.
Mm.
I think that I'm okay with whatever. I think maybe probably most likely a blend of the both. Something that's a little bit more accessible, something
Yeah.
that's a little bit more ingrained and ancient, and combining the two, I think would be the best way to do it. But I remember him being quite the one scene, when he's on his ship. That was like very powerful.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, no, you're going down swinging. That was amazing. But I would like some of the original myth and story to be showcased because I think that would be once again we're talking about in the style that we've dealt with Epic. I think that would translate extremely well.
Did you know that he's also the Spider People's um progenitor? Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a
that was super
recent
cool that they
development.
added that in.
It's so cool.
Very cool.
And he gets into it with like Bast, the Panther god for Black Panther. Like they're siblings. Like I really fucked with like the way that they introduced Anansi into the comic book universe.
Yeah, the weird what's his name with the M that eats spiders. That was a very weird like thing, but they made it for an interesting antagonist.
Mm.
Mole. What's his name? But he would hunt after different Spider-Mans. He would eat them. I forget
Mm.
it. But yeah, having that interaction between these gods, it was super cool for sure. Yeah, I would love that. Please make that happen. It'll be amazing. Like absolutely.
Before we finish everything, EA, make Battlefront 3, baby. Make
Baby,
Battlefront 3.
sir, brother, it's not finna happen. Xenoverse 3 ain't happening. Shinobi Strikers 2 ain't happening. And fucking Battlefront 3 it's not gonna happen. Now, if Kingdom Hearts 4 sells good, a new Star Wars game will come out. Because I believe Kingdom Hearts 4 is don't stop it. Okay, we've been so deep, everybody. Viewers, listeners, as well as guests. We've been so deep. I'd like to do a personal exercise that will help us return to the surface and provide us with a little bit of brevity from the deepness of our conversation. Epic the Musical is a really fun and engaging experience. If you were able to turn Epic the Musical into another media source that could be more accessible, that's not musical theater, what would you have it turn into? For me, I think if Epic the Musical were turned into a comic book, a webtoon, like a digitally digestible visual reading experience would be the best way to get it to more people outside of the musical theater aspect. And then we'll continue with the irregular order of Clown, Fro, and then Mighty Genius to finish us off.
Well, I mean, please, God of War style, like more Greek button mashing.
Mm.
Absolutely. You know that one scene, God of War 3, where you're just repeatedly pushing O, you're punching and caving in Zeus's face,
Yeah,
and you
and
can
then
do
the
that for like
screen turns to nothing. Yeah.
red fucking pulp. You can do that shit
Mm.
for I think you do it for 10 minutes straight of just matching O and doing nothing else as he keeps punching over and over again.
Oh, so
You get a little achievement.
you're talking about 600 strike.
Oh man, that right there
Mm.
would be phenomenal. I think as a video game, it's very actiony. Yeah, there's definitely growth. Hero's journey does translate well into a video game. There's love, there's loss, there's levels. I think that something about like for fun for me for video games is knowing that you are the underdog, knowing that you
Mm.
have a great like obstacle ahead of you, and it being almost impossible to do at first, and then and come inching closer and closer, and having the occasional setback. As frustrating as it is, moving back towards your goal, I can find it being very satisfying. If you've ever played any kind of roguelike games, we were talking about it, I think,
Mm-hmm.
earlier, like the
The
idea of
pre-show.
climbing, and seeing any progress as some progress is just satisfying. And video games and life and whatever you're working towards for your goals, if you're making some progress, you're inching towards them, you're getting somewhere. Doesn't matter how small it is, how incremental, it doesn't matter. And I think that would translate very well if you had, Odyssey the video game or Epic the video game. I think it'd be fun.
Mm. Fro?
Yep. All right. So I, just like Clown, definitely choose the video game medium, but I would. I thought about that God of War 2. That's perfect, especially the first three. But for me, I would definitely do action RPG, and if not in the style of Telltale, I
Mm.
would absolutely do. I was thinking like Detroit Beyond Human style, or not the Mass
Oh.
Effect style, because I love options and choices. And this epic tale, honestly, if it's not like option based, like every interaction affects the story, I don't even know if I'd even want to play it. I mean, like I would play it just because, but like honestly, I feel like you could do so much with this epic as a video game, bro. You could do
Mm.
so much with it, especially since again it's in like Greek mythology, like interacting with the gods different. Hell, imagine being able to craft different type of dialogue with Athena. Like it, man, just so much. And even if you could like LA Noir type beat, can suss out people, you might be able to suss out the mutiny.
Mm.
Or just however, but yeah, I would do either that Telltale or real like action RPG choice based. That's
Okay.
just to get it out to more people.
Yeah. Genius.
Well, I know I'm definitely gonna like my option. I hope you guys. I know Tenchi's gonna know what it's like because he's definitely
Starfield.
played it with me. No, even further back, Starfield is a great game though, but
Mm.
I'm gonna say Black Flags, Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
That's a great
yeah,
one.
yep, yep.
hell
The
yeah.
interactive. You got Scylla. She could be. You're going in the fucking Scylla cave with the boat with your crew and shit. You watch the other
World
crew get
boss.
fucked up.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
And then there's all these side quests you can do. You could go, deep dive in the ocean. You could go fight a giant on the island or something.
To the
Even
land of giants.
Troy.
Yeah.
You got your crew and you can tell them what to do because certain you could have like certain people do certain things for you and shit. And I just think that the mechanics of that game would be really great, and the art it's really detailed, and you got cutscenes. So
Mm.
for all the singing that's going on, I think the cutscenes will be really great, especially with all these animated series we have online. I'm pretty sure somebody could come out with a 3D version. That
Yeah.
just cut the cake on it. So yeah, it's really, it would be really immersive. If we couldn't get a video game, I do want to say like probably like a show with seasons. You know, like each series is its own season. Maybe the
Absolutely.
episodes are the song, and yeah, that's just kind of like what I would see could happen. I don't see it as a movie, unless it would just be a really long movie, and I think it would just be like a 6-hour movie at that point.
Yeah,
all
and
the
that's
content that
that's
happened.
sort of how I was feeling about it being a stage play. Cause if it's 2.5 hours as just the songs, you would need some dialogue in between, you know.
Yeah.
So movie was sort of on the lower end for me as well.
So yeah, that's kind of my perspective because I'm looking at it as a linear experience. Like you can either rush through the story, or you can take your time and do the side quests along the way. You know?
Like dealing with Aeolus's Winions and doing quests for them when you get to the floating island, or before you go into the cave with Polyphemus, you know, you explore it. I see that. Yeah, I love that. Because the plot would be the songs, and then you could have side quests alongside those. Is that what you were kind of thinking?
You know it.
Yeah.
And even and then there's monsters and shit. Like you would see Zeus in the middle of the air with the sun behind him and shit. It's a cutscene and he says choose, and you choose, the whole boat just explodes and shit. Oh wait, in the water.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
Now, with me thinking of that specific scene, I would like a 4X game. Kind of like a Civilization or something. And even though an action RPG or like a narrative-driven RPG sort of falls behind that, because it's like when I imagine a game about the Odyssey, I would see it being way more like control based, you know, where like, because literally before the Circe saga, you command a fleet and Poseidon destroys a lot of that fleet. So it's only one ship after the Circe saga, but before that, the Troy and the Ocean saga, he has 600 men, and they're all on different ships, because you can even tell in Full Speed Ahead that he's like, have them follow me, I'll make sure that we get through, which means that there are other ships that he was commanding. But after Poseidon got to them, he's like, 43 left under your command. 43 men is on one ship. You know, so having a 4X style of game would work. And maybe even if you want to like fucking really be a game designer, you can have a 4X experience for the first 12 or 13 hours and then turn that shit into an action RPG, literally like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where after it's only one ship left, you spend the first 12, 15 hours commanding your ship to different areas, and then after the Poseidon encounter, you go to playing as Cassandra, you know, and it's like Odysseus is just running shit, you know.
That's fun.
So that's really interesting. And I think with us drawing so far into something as recent as Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we can sort of offer up the floor for anything you would like to say. We have about 10 minutes left on this recording, and I'm gonna cut this out, at least my vocals for it. But if there's anything you wanted to pose to your other guests, or something you'd like me to expound upon more, the floor is open, because we're gonna end this episode with an outro, but we got about 10 minutes because we only got 2 more songs left for the full project, and I figured 2.5 to 3 hours is fine enough where I cut some, intermittent stuff. So we're on I Can't Help But Wonder, which is actually what I was talking about earlier, why Ithaca Saga is my favorite saga, because the song between Odysseus and Telemachus has always broken my fucking heart. Me as a dad who's separated from his son, it breaks my heart every fucking time. I never want to sing this song with my son, even though I can understand, you know?
Definitely understand.
And I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I'm not gonna cry on camera, and my camera's been on this entire time. So you go ahead. I don't want to hear this song, y'all.
Oh no, okay, I definitely get it.
Yeah.
But I find the love that to be. I don't want to go too deep, and we're gonna talk about this later. But I'll say that the villain song for the last one, it was very good. The villain song, you'll when you get to it, phenomenal. Like I loved the mirroring that we got from instruments and themes that were used for Odysseus' journey, and having it used in that villain track for Telemachus' journey. That was really, really really, really amazing. Probably one of my favorite tracks of any album, for sure. Hold 'em down, very, very good. I mean, and really quick, the whole video game thing. I was just imagining it's kind of fucked up, but Pikmin, like a hardcore Pikmin version of the game of Epic would be hilarious.
I can see it.
Because you know what, your crew never gets bigger. It just gets smaller and smaller. It's like hardcore Pikmin.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Wow. Because I was also thinking like Fire Emblem, I think, because I know it's permadeath in that game, or like something like Dynasty Warriors. I was thinking something like that would be a really dope way to tackle this game. I mean, this musical.
Oh, we got a game developer over here.
Man, I'm telling you, like, it's so many things that could like amplify this just saga, and it's just once he get the money, man, I feel like it's gonna be a board game, a Monopoly game, hopefully a non-ass video game, because you know what kills certain stories for me, especially I wouldn't want this story to downgrade in any capacity. When people look to video games, they get like that extra cartoony, just Disney-esque style of stuff, and I don't know, I just if this does it like kind of like to what you said, like something like God of War, like we need it gritty, like I need to feel everything.
It's a gritty story. It's full of awful things, one after another. And by the way, it gets to a cutscene where you're choosing something, you can only choose the bad option.
Hey,
You-
yo, I hate it.
If that world exists, it's far away from here. It's one I'll have to miss.
Yeah, you can only choose one option, battle.
Mm.
It's either gonna be tell your name is Odysseus or give me your social. That's the only options you have.
Sick.
She eats us.
Okay. I would say as a closing statement, I believe that Epic the Musical has occupied a space that a lot of neurodivergent as well as like morally sound humans haven't had like occupy it for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I really value this project as something in my adult life that can truly provide like an opportunity for savior, what do they call it, the savior mentality, or like the white knight syndrome type of thing, to really
Yeah.
be done away with. You can love and care about something which has been vilified and alienated for the last like 10 years. And it provides an opportunity for people to understand that those ideas come with negativity. And as we're listening to Would You Fall in Love with Me Again, it's really important that I encourage everyone listening that there is someone who wants exactly who you are, no matter what you decide to do or pretend to do for the greater good. My family, my lovers, my friends, we are all valuable. And the things that we provide to the world that we create for ourselves is integral to that world not experiencing collapse. I hate to deepen after we've already drawn ourselves out of the deep, but I think with this specific song, it's very important that you understand that no matter how far you go, no matter how much work that you do, the ones who love you will love you if you couldn't do anything. If you didn't do anything, they would still love you because they loved you before you were able to do the things that made you worthy of love. And the best of us will remind you that, hey, that thing you did before you started trying to prove it to me, that's what I've always loved about you. I respect you trying to be more lovable, and I loved you first. I suggest we all find a person who loved you first. Because no matter what you achieve, no matter how far you travel in your aspirations, there is someone who loves you because you were lovable before you provided any option for comparison. And I truly believe that that is what Epic the Musical is about. Is understanding that you are the person who you work for, who you strive for, who you beget change. That person you want to change for wanted you before you wanted to change. That life that you wanted is gonna be waiting for you after you get done proving yourself to yourself. And everyone has a Penelope waiting at home. Everyone has an Odysseus fighting to be worthy. And it's okay to remember that those things that you want won't matter to those who want you. The reason I love this product so much, the reason I adore this project, is because it's a provincial measure. You gotta be you. You have to love you. And your love and who you give it to is so much more important than you proving that you love them. This has been the Due to the Deep podcast. My name is D1001. I love you all. My guests are willing to answer any questions you might have in the comments. And for the future of this show, and for the future of our country, love yourself and work hard for the people that you love. That's really all I had to say today. I'll see you later. Peace.